Hello, it's Paul McFadden, and welcome to the Property Success Podcast. My goal with this podcast is to bring in amazing guests that are going to inspire you. And today's guest is going to be one of those ones that when you do watch this or you're listening in, it's going to give you that boost yourself. It's going to inspire you. It's going to get you to think what's possible as well. And that's what I love doing these podcasts, because I know myself from my early days in my journey, I had to look for inspiration. I had to look for other people who were further along their journey to see what they were able to accomplish, for me to get confidence in myself, to think, well, if some other people can do it, then why not me too? And this is the reason why I do this podcast. So today's guest is Angie. Angie, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much. Yeah,
I'm
all
looking
good.
forward to this one. I really am.
Yeah,
So we're going to have fun, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because you've got some great projects on the go, which I can't wait to get into and have a chat around. But I'd like to, like I do with anyone that comes on, is to get a bit more of a background about yourself. So from the younger Angie all the way up to before you kind of remotely started getting an interest in property. So why don't we start from a bit more of your younger self?
my younger self, like how young, Paul?
Well, what
Just,
happened from, I guess any highlights in
Yeah.
your life, and then of course coming out of school when you go into this world of trying to find your way. So
Yeah.
it'd probably be good to start from there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think I've always been a little bit ambitious from my younger days, whether that be in sport, fundraising stuff, career-wise. So as a youngster, I did the hurdles, believe it or not. Not as flexible now, but did a sprinting and hurdles and enjoyed training 3-4 nights a week, traveling back and forth. So I had the kind of commitment for kind of sticking at things and achieving things back then. And from age 16 or so, I got heavily involved in starting to fundraise for Cancer Research UK. So we were doing a lot of fundraisers and charity events. And so I've done that for over 20 years now. Now that I'm getting closer to 40. So it's been a fun and interesting journey up until now. Being a teacher, my background's a PE teacher, so I did that for about 17 years. Just last summer, I transitioned to supply teaching, so that would enable me to have a bit more flexibility for the property journey that I'm on, but also to do the full colour coaching stuff, which is my not-for-profit organisation that supports young people's mental health and well-being. So yeah, being a teacher and seeing lots of young people need extra support and help, my passion started to go towards there. So with property, I think the hope is that I'll be able to do slightly more of that, less supply days and a bit of the property stuff to keep things interesting and juggle lots of different projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love it. It's great. Just when it comes to sports, which has been a lot of your background, obviously.
Yeah.
My favourite teacher at school was the PE teacher, because it was the only subject I could
Yeah.
excel at myself, because it was academically, I was, it was a challenge, you know. So I excelled at quite a bit when it came to anything that was sporty. And I think with my own background of always being driven when it comes to anything that's physical, and it's like sports and, you know, football, or even these days when it's doing jiu-jitsu or something, like anything that's got a sports background. I'm just wondering how you feel that transitions into your life as someone that just wants to progress and get better at what they're doing, and has that helped you a lot?
I think part of it has. I think there's an ingrained part of you that whether it's sport, business, career, you set yourself goals, you want to meet them, you continually trying to learn and improve, whether that's, you know, physically training or, you know, research and stuff, talking to people. So yeah, I think, like you say, in sport and you want like your jiu-jitsu and things, there is something in some people that you want to keep improving, and sometimes the small daily kind of habits and training that you need to do, it's out in the rain, in the snow in Aberdeen, you know, it's hard work, but you keep chipping away at that, and then eventually you get to enjoy some nice big moments with some medals and achievements like that. So I think that definitely has that definitely transferred into even my teaching, trying to improve and do my best there, get feedback from others and kids on how to, how can I do better? What else do you need from me? And trying to continually improve. And then the property side, there's definitely a lot of, what do you want to achieve, setting goals, breaking down the smaller targets to get there. And again, there's some small daily actions that you feel like you're not doing a lot. Maybe it's a few emails, a phone call, researching something, but then further down the line, you can look back and say, oh, I have made actually quite a lot of progress. And then there'll be, bigger moments of refurbs having completed or onboarding another SA. And like those bigger moments are great, but it is all that small daily little actions that you've got to be committed to doing to then, I suppose, eventually reap those rewards later, isn't it? So, yeah.
I'm glad you're saying that, because many people that will be watching or listening will be in different points in their journey, and one of the biggest challenges for most people when they're getting started out is just their expectations on timeframes of achieving things, or maybe getting a little bit of a rejection at the beginning. They put an offer in thinking that your first offer is going to be, accepted, and it doesn't get accepted, and it can have a little bit of a knock-on effect where you get a bit disheartened, and that can lead you down a path of not doing the work because you're still upset. And I think for me, when I relate back to sport, anytime that if it was football, we didn't win or I never played my best, even though it was a team sport, I would always self-reflect and go, what could I have done better? How that I can improve? What do I need to do to work collaboratively with the team as well? And it's self-reflection, especially when it gets to individual sports as well, because you've not got a team to blame, right?
Yeah.
So you can no longer blame anyone else. And it was one of those ones when it's the mirror getting held up and you're going, well, it's my fault.
Yeah.
It's down to me. And then off the back of that, I realised that, oh, well, it's clear if I'm not getting ahead, it's because I'm not putting the work in, I'm not being as dedicated. And that's why I like using the kind of sport analogy. And that's why I was asking you questions there. And it's great how you've broken that down into milestones, what needs to be done. And an analogy that I use all the time when I'm talking to people at the beginning of the property journey is that you've got to put the reps in. To build muscle or to build anything, you've got to put the reps in. And when we look at property, the reps is viewing properties. It's understanding the numbers, it's making offers, it's getting to know people, it's building relationships, it's getting the fundamentals right. And when you get that right, of course, you can then start to fine-tune things to improve. Is that what you've kind of seen as well with yourself?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like when you mentioned about expectations earlier, like I would say that I think I would have expected to maybe be further in my journey than I am. And it's managing those expectations and realising like things do take time. But being part of like the tribe and different property networks, hearing from different people's journeys and stories really keeps you going, because other people share their setbacks or, challenges, and, you feel like I'm not the only one. And then you can keep going. I think I've lost my train of thought there, but
no, it's good.
Yeah.
So I guess it's the whole thought process around expectations that you were talking about there as well, and you thought you were going to be further along your journey, and I think that's one of the challenges most people have, is because things tend to take a lot longer. Things tend to cost a lot more. Have a lot more time needs to go into it, and energy. And it was something that I learned relatively early on in my journey, and that was because I wasn't great academically, right? So when it came to sports, I knew that if I wanted to excel, I had to go out and do more running, whatever the thing that would make me excel. But when it came to an academic point of view, when it came to property, doing due diligence and building relationships, I thought, I'm not that good at that. So it's a self-awareness. So for me, I thought in my head, this is what I mean in terms of expectations, because you were, because it's kind of weird, because one of those ones you have the expectations, you thought you would have been a lot further ahead. But when you self-reflect and go, wait a wee minute, I've actually accomplished a lot and progressed. But for me, I thought, if I can just do what I need to do, by the time I'm 50, now I'm only 38, right, just now. But in my head, it's like, by the time I'm 50, I might just make it. I might just become a millionaire. Because for me, that was a goal, right? It was
Yeah.
just that number was in my head. Did I think I was going to do that in my mid-20s? I mean, absolutely no chance. I couldn't even comprehend it. So in one way, it can also work in the flip side as well.
Yeah.
And it goes back to me just at the beginning going, okay, I just need to do more than what most people could do. Because I saw people around me that would, it seemed like it was effortless to them. You probably see this in
Yeah.
sport, right? There's always those
Yeah.
ones, because even though I was sporty, I was never the fastest, the best player. I was maybe, behind them by a few people, maybe the fourth, fifth, or sixth person right at them all. So I wasn't the worst, wasn't the
Yeah.
middle, but it wasn't the best. So in my head, I thought, for me to excel, I'm going to have to do more training than the top three. I'm going to have to put more reps in, more time. And I just translated that from sports into business as well, going, look, I'm not that academic. I'm going to need to do significantly more than anyone else. And I think that then becomes a payoff later on.
Yeah. No, definitely. And in terms of like, for me, thinking back to when I was learning coaching and when I was learning the coaching skills, I remember feeling that kind of feeling of, am I good enough? Can I do this? And when it's something new, and then, but the more you practice it, like say, the more reps you put into doing more coaching sessions, working with more young people, it then becomes more automatic and natural and like easy. So I'm reflecting and thinking, right, the property journey I'm on, there's definitely that steep learning curve, that realization of, oh, this, it is a lot of work, and I expected that, but also just the amount to try to do when you're looking at different strategies, like say due diligence, and trying to remember all the knowledge and information. And there are times I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, and to use that next time. But I'm thinking like the more I do it, the more viewings, the more numbers we do, the more we get involved in refurbs. Comparing that to the coaching, I'm like, well, I'll get to hopefully the stage where it does come more naturally and easier, and you have more knowledge and experience that then helps you further along the way. So yeah, I'll hopefully get there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great because I love how you're saying this. Hopefully we get there, but I honestly think you're doing amazing in the sense of your own journey. So we'll get into that though, because I think it'll be good. But what got you to first even want to consider investing in property? What was the trigger moment? What was the thing that was on your mind?
Yeah. With my own house, I started doing the rent a room scheme initially, and then transitioned to do Airbnb. And I did that for some extra money, starting out after, it wasn't long after I started teaching. And then when I met my partner, Lindsay, she moved up, and it became a case of, we need to adjust how we're using the house. Like it was just me before, and I would just lock up my room and go stay with my parents for the weekend while someone hired the house. But we've got a really good setup now, and Lindsay actually really enjoys doing the changeovers and the turnovers and things. So that was kind of the start of it. And Lindsay was like, it'd be good to do more of this. So instead of just our house, we thought, right, well, we'll look to invest in getting another property and doing something similar. But then realised that there's not just holiday makers in our area, but there's contractors as well. So we bought a flat last year, and kind of aimed it more at the contractor market, and went through the process of getting an SA license and kitting it all out. So that went really, really well, and had full occupancy for the first 6-7 months, which was great. So yeah, we've just been building on that since then. So we've been looking to invest in a few properties for ourselves, but also with the delay of one of them, it took probably about a year from start to finish, getting the bridging finance in place, getting all the insurance in place and all the paperwork done to eventually get the keys. So while that was all happening, we were looking for other opportunities and other ways of growing what we were doing. So that's where we started to reach out to one or two landlords that had properties but were sitting empty. And knowing the kind of contractor market and things, we said, we could help you with this. We can help look after it for you, furnish it, do all the changeovers and stuff completely hassle-free for you. And they know that they get their regular income each month and stuff as well. And help deal with all the paperwork side and the SE license. So that's been a learning curve for us as well, going down the kind of management route of that, as well as having our own. And the property we just got the keys for, that'll be kind of our first major refurb project, which will be exciting as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love it. It's great when you start to see just proof of concept when you're doing it for yourself anyway, as small as it may seem, just a room to start off with,
Yeah.
seeing the potential, getting excited about it, helping other landlords. And I remember not so long ago, we're chatting about it in the sense of that's such a great marketplace for you in the sense of being able to do that, because not a lot of people like to or want to do the management side of things, but you guys seem to really be able to hone in on that as a service, which is great because, for a lot of landlords, if they could just know what they're getting for their rent every month and don't need to worry about all the hassle and everything else, and they can hand it over to someone like yourselves and you can just look after it, take care of all the SA licensing part if it's required, and staging it and everything else, and they can just forget about it. And of course the byproduct of that is if it's done right, you guys will make a lot of money on it too as well, so it's a kind of win-win for both people.
Yeah, we actually there's a property where it needed a lot of TLC, and the owner reached out and back and forth, and we said, like, it's got a lot of potential. It's a lovely property, but it did need, painted, new carpets. We thought we might just, paint the kitchen doors and freshen it up, but being the I don't know how to describe it, but we're very good at finding deals in terms of like on Facebook Marketplace and stuff to make things affordable for people. So like this particular owner, the kitchen was well over 20 years old, and I found a great looking, modern, nice kitchen that was basically the size and shape of what we were looking for £300. I was like, you can't get a kitchen for £300. Like, so I messaged her and said, do you want us to go for this? And then obviously there's the cost of the, the joinery and plumbing to get it fitted. But she was like, yes, So I got a message actually, and she said, something along the lines of, we're actually making her like the house again, because she lives down south and is not able to be there all the time to keep on top of like maybe bits and pieces of refurbishing it and keeping it. So we've kind of helped to take that pressure off her, and we've been sending her updates on like it's getting painted now, carpet's going down next week, that's the kitchen in. So she's coming up end of next month to come and see the transformation, so that'll be really nice.
Yeah, it's always exciting, isn't it, when you transform a property? It's always good to see what it was to turn it into something, and it's always good, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's like, it's not even our property, and we're just like loving it, and seeing, we walked in when the kitchen went in, we were like, wow, look at it, because it was just such a difference, and to be able to then to send the pictures to the owner to say like, and she was delighted as well. So it's really nice to kind of help other people as well. So eventually, hopefully, that property will be an essay as well. We'll do all the licensing paperwork as well for them, and we'll manage it for them. And again, they get to enjoy the income coming in while we look after it for them.
Absolutely, that's good. Now, you came along to Jumpstart first, didn't you? I'm sure.
Yeah.
Was that one of the ones we did in Aberdeen?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
So Aberdeen's always an interesting
Yeah.
place for us to come and talk about Jumpstart especially. I think Aberdeen is a very different marketplace, Aberdeen and surrounding areas, compared to the rest of Scotland,
Yeah.
but still phenomenal opportunities,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to for SA as well in the contractor market. So you came along to, so you also did Protege, and
Yes.
that is like probably about 10 months ago.
Yeah.
So, a couple of things, because I remember you saying that for you, investing in Protege, it was more of an understanding that it's an investment in yourself. Is
Hmm.
that right? So, what got you
Definitely.
to maybe think that whole process, and also, I guess, what was your thoughts on coming along?
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, I went to the Jumpstart event in Aberdeen, and that was eye opening as it was like 2 days of really good knowledge and sharing and learning to stuff that I'd never even considered or knew about. And that's the exciting thing about learning, isn't it? It's you don't know what you don't know. So that was amazing. But some of the speakers there as well, because it was Mark and Emma Laurenti at the
Yeah.
time. So that was really inspiring to hear other people's story that it's been through it and what they'd learned. Um, and so, yeah, after Jumpstart, I was really keen to do Protege. It took me a while to be able to, so I think I did Jumpstart in November time and I didn't do Protege till like the end of the August. But being a teacher, I wasn't able to get the days. And that was part of the deciding point um, of stopping my 3 days teaching, going to supply. So I had the flexibility
Mm-hmm.
to come and do the course and do other courses and meetups and do viewings and just all the stuff that comes with property, but also to be able to carry on my 2 days or so coaching. Um, and I don't know if it's a teacher thing or sport thing, but just always kind of wanting to learn and improve and find out things. And having done the some of the essay stuff ourselves with my own house, but then seeing that so many other possibilities of um, different strategies in property that I hadn't even tried, and it just sounded like this is something I want to learn more about. Although essays being our main focus, I have been doing some due diligence for potential flip or assisted sale. I'm trying to keep in touch and learn from other property sourcers, and creating good relationships and connections there. Because I'm open to doing it all. It's just trying to manage your time and what's achievable. Like I said, it's I thought I would be further along than I would be. But looking back, there's a lot of things that were out of our control. So I think what I've learned is keep focusing on the things that you can control and the daily little tasks that you can keep pushing forward. And the things out of our control, some of the things with the bridge and finance and waiting on solicitors and paperwork and things like that was all quite time consuming, but I don't think there's anything that we could have done to make that much faster. It was
Yeah.
kind of that's something out of our control, so let's focus on these other things. And I think with the management side of things, maybe we wouldn't have done that as soon had these other things taken as long. So
Yeah.
it's just keeping open to different opportunities and learning. And it is a little bit daunting at times, but part of it is just, going for it, learning from others in the group. Um, and yeah, just learning from other people's experiences because there's so many in the group that share their learnings and their challenges so openly. And that's so nice when you can reach out to someone and say, you mentioned that. How did you get on with that? And how did you get over this? And people are so good at sharing that and helping each other, which is brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's the one thing I love the most about our
Yeah.
community too. And it's quite funny because, when I kicked off our program, our Proto You program, which was over 10 years ago, I never thought it would grow into what it is at the moment, where it's got such a powerful community of supportive people that are open to share and collaborate and just to share some of their challenges that you can learn from, And I just love it because, as you know yourself, like in business, and it can be a very lonely journey. But if you've got a community of like-minded people who are all looking to achieve the same heights of success, it's not only inspiring, but at the same time you don't feel alone. You've got people to talk to and ask questions of, and I think the community is unbelievable. So you've just recently collected the keys to one of your bigger refurbs you mentioned, which is
Yeah.
an essay. So tell us a bit more about that one.
Yeah, that's an exciting one. And like I said, it's been a long process, about a year. But now that we have the keys, that project it's a 4-bed house currently with a cafe space. And the 4-bed, we've got plans in place to make it a 1-bed flat on the bottom and a 3-bed flat on the top. And once the refurb's done, yeah, looking to get SA licenses for those. The cafe space is an extra challenge and kind of passion project, because with my full colour coaching side of things and supporting young people in the town and surrounding areas, my vision is to have a cool coffee shop, kind of cafe vibe place where it's open to the whole community. Everyone can come and support it, but it's set up like a social enterprise where the funds that we raise through the cafe can then get regenerated and reused into the coaching services and things that we offer. But also with some of the schools teaching young people barista skills now, we thought it'd be a great way to transition and help young people from that school environment into a real life kind of coffee shop, and support them with paid work placements, or support them with employability skills and build their confidence and get practice actually in the cafe space, but supporting them as well with some coaching and wellbeing support as well. So kind of like a wee hub for that. And along with the cafe coffee shop, out the back is kind of like a shared garage space. So the idea being, can we put in like a little pool table in there with some comfy seating and Wi-Fi, obviously, for young people, but a space that they can come and kind of hang out, as well as offering that opportunities with employability as well via the coffee shop, and continue to coach some of the young people in the local primary schools and secondary schools. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. So it's part of like the property journey, but it's also linking in with the coaching. So that's going to be a really exciting project. And I'm working with a fundraising consultant to try to find various grants and trust funds and things that might be able to help us get up on our feet to get that going. Yeah.
It's exciting when you look at a project as an investor where you'll make money, but at the same time having a project which you're also giving so much back to the community too. That must be incredibly fulfilling, being able to, because I guess landlords, right, property investors and various property professionals, sometimes we get a bad rap as if we're taking advantage and everything else. And as a developer myself, and we build homes, I don't think people realise the amount that you have to actually pay in what's called developer contributions to the local community. I mean, I've had to pay hundreds of thousands of pounds over the last few years in my projects, but it's ones that I personally don't know where the money's going, because it just gets paid to the council. But I love the things that you're doing, because you know where the money's going. You're going into something that you can actually have an impact in the local community and stuff. So that must feel good.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was an institution, this cafe, when it was up and running, and everybody knows the Castle Cafe. And it's been empty for, since COVID, really. So, COVID's obviously affected, a lot of businesses and places. So to be able to have the opportunity to get back up and running, and for something for the whole community, but also be able to support the work with young people, and a place that they know they can come, grab a hot chocolate and talk to someone if they need to, try to create that kind of early intervention support. I think will be really important. And the wee hub at the back, hopefully, like, you know, just young people need somewhere to go and somewhere to talk and meet up with their friends. And hopefully that will make a big difference in the community.
Yeah. Uh, so there's a school not far from me, Strathallan. I'm not sure if you're
I've heard
familiar
of it,
with it or
yeah.
not. So Alex and I went to see the school because we're obviously looking at where our girls will be potentially once they're leave from primary to secondary, and Strathallan just around the corner. And Alex and I went there to see it, um and I've never experienced this. Of course, it's a private school, but it blew my mind that in the middle of Strathallan they've got a coffee shop,
Yeah.
right? And I just couldn't comprehend it. And talking to the kids in there and the teachers, they say, yeah, so when most of the kids are finished with school, they just go and hang out in the coffee shop. It's a
Hmm.
great place for them to hang out, have conversation, have a chat over a coffee or a hot
Yeah.
chocolate. And I'm like, oh my God, if there was something like that in the school or in my surrounding areas when I grew up, maybe I wouldn't have gotten as much bother and trouble
Yeah.
that I did growing up. And for many others, it's crazy that if you can just give a sense of community and allow people just to be heard and be able to talk to others, and and meet up and change
Hmm.
their environment, it's I'm sure you know it, but it's just such a profound impact it's going to have in someone's life.
Hmm.
you know
Yeah.
Love it. And is that something that you are, I guess, going forward with everything you're doing, trying, because it seems to be it's your background, right? Because
Yeah.
you've got that in your business, that you have just now, but at the same time in the years that you've done through, raising money for charity and cancer research and stuff. But is that something that you want to try and integrate in as much as that you do?
I think so. It is a passion, and it's something that I want to grow some of the things that we're doing at Folklore Coaching, and this is definitely the biggest project that we're taking on. But ideally, to grow the organisation, that it's more than just me delivering the coaching, and maybe it could be a model that can be copied elsewhere. You know, I just think that early intervention support is so important. We don't have to wait till young people are really struggling before there's any intervention. But I know that schools and things are so tied up with resources and time and staff that, if we can help with take the pressure off of that a little bit. But also we've got a coaching skills award that we're training young people in schools to learn coaching skills themselves so that they can then support and help other people. So, with coaching, it's a conversation, but there's certain skills and techniques you can use to really help people come up with their own solutions to challenges they're facing rather than giving advice. So, like, I can just imagine, like, in the coffee shop, if we've got some trained young people in there with their barista skills, but also with coaching skills, having that conversations with people when they come in, and if they've got a problem, they can use that coaching skills to help them come up with their own solutions or thoughts around it. Because advice is good to a certain point, but I think when it comes from themselves, it's much more powerful, and that kind of empowerment that, oh yeah, I know what I need to do in this situation, um, rather than trying what somebody else has done.
Yeah.
But mentoring and coaching, it does go a bit of hand in hand. But yeah, it can be, I think, really powerful. The coffee shop and the coaching coming together, hopefully.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it sounds incredibly exciting in the sense of what it will have in terms of an impact. You're working on another essay as well that's going through the process too. So is that, of course, you've said that you're going to look at some other strategies as well, but
Yeah.
essays just seems to be such a great strategy these days because you can end up making 5x more, sometimes significantly more in terms of a standard buy to let.
Yeah.
So is that kind of the core of what you're trying to do in the sense of not only build up the essays for yourself, but also manage for others too?
Yeah, so I think the plan going forward is we would like to build our own portfolio of essays. We're more based in around Aberdeenshire, Murray, so that's where we're growing our essays just now. But in terms of, yeah, management, again, it's around Aberdeenshire, Murray, but once we have, like, the strategies in place and the procedures in place. It's something that, it'd be nice to grow and develop, a little bit further afield. If there's others looking for that kind of management service. We really enjoy it. I think it helps when you've got that strong team of people behind you that can help. Our team of the team that helps with the cleaning and the changeovers is amazing. And we can't do without them. And anything we ask, they're like, yep, no problem, we'll do that. And to know that, they've got your back. And Lindsay loves, as soon as you're at the stage of kitting the place out with the furniture, the fake plants, the just all the little knickknacks that make a place feel like home, that's when she's in her element. So I get to do all the kind of business side and the paperwork and the procedures, making sure you got all the paperwork in place and the doing all the utility bills. And then Lindsay comes into her own when it gets to she gets to go wild in Dunelm and places to to kit the places out. So we're currently got one just now that we're at the stage of the beds are going in, the kitchen stuff's all going in, and what a change from an empty place to what it looks like. It kind of feels like home when there's that furniture going in. So we can't wait to get that one up and running. That's for a landlord as well. And then the other project we have is going to take a few more weeks. We're still at the stage of painting, got to get the carpets down. But again, just the transformation of seeing these properties and helping out landlords has been brilliant, as well as growing like our own portfolio. So yeah, it's exciting times.
Yeah. What I love about it too is that you're doing this with your partner, because I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for having Alexa by my side. Yeah. She's been incredibly supportive, and for many years she's been a mum, with her 3 girls. So that's been a big focus for her. And then as of the last year, especially the last few months, she's get more involved in the business because she's always had a business mind, and she is just on fire right now. Like I have seen a whole new lease of life in Alexa myself, like I knew it was always there, but of course it happens when, and you have to take a little sidestep from your career. And, she's very fortunate that, she's been able to spend that time with the family growing up. And now she's like, again, just a different excitement. She's bringing me ideas. She's getting in there, coordinating things with the marketing team and chat. And I'm like, this is so good. And it's just amazing when the both of us can work together. And of course, as any partnership, whether it's with your significant other, there's going to be moments of disagreements or difference of opinion, but that's great. Bounce ideas off one another. So it's great to hear that.
Yeah.
How good's it been for you being able to do this with your partner?
It's been really good. It's amazing. Like we both have like this passion for it, but we've also got like different strengths and skills that we're bringing to it as well. Lindsay's definitely got the creative side. Well, her background is in art, and she just has this creative side and knows what looks good in a room.
Yeah.
Me less so. Like I am a bit more of the business mind, I suppose, of it, and she's more of like the hands-on, kitting the places out and making it look really nice, and supporting the team with the changeovers and things. But yeah, it's great that we kind of complement each other, I suppose, and it's exciting doing it together. Like we'll laugh at each other, but we've gotten stuck in with painting, and I know sometimes it's like you've got to work on the business, not in it. But there's times where okay, get the paintbrush and let's go. I always end up with more paint all over me than she does, and I don't know, is it because she's got the art background and I'm not? And then there's moments where, luckily enough to borrow one of my dad's vehicles, to fit tables and chairs and stuff that we're sourcing for properties, getting our good deals again. And so we're going about in the van, maybe, grab a coffee, and it's just like, this is, it's fun. Yeah. It's fun, as well as, hard work at times, but we do really enjoy doing it together.
That's such a good balance. You've got Lindsay there with the creative mind, you've got there with the logic mind, working
Yeah, try.
together. It's really good to see. So what's the game plan going forward then? So fast forward another year from now, where do you envision yourself to be, and what's the kind of things you're working on?
Yeah. I think I take a lot of inspiration from other tribe members as well, because they'll say, this is us 3, 4, 5 years into our journey, and seeing what kind of things that they're doing. So yeah, we want to grow our SA business and management side of things, but also I'm really, yeah, I'm really motivated to try get involved in whether it's flip projects or assisted sales, working with other tribe members, because just seeing some of the amazing projects happening, whether it be like bigger projects like apart hotels and bigger SAs, or like flip projects and things, it's inspiring to see people who are 3, 4, 5 years into the journey, what they're doing. And a quote that another property a person that I'm in touch with said was, you'll overestimate what you'll achieve in 1 year, but underestimate what you'll achieve in 5. And I can totally see that, because first year I thought, oh, we'll have done this, this, and this. And things have taken longer than expected, but I can see the momentum building if we keep going and keep doing those daily tasks, ticking off those little goals that within 3, 4, 5 years, it'll be exciting to see where we do end up, and who we're working alongside or getting the chance to partner up with. So it's still early days for us, but we are excited to keep going and see what other opportunities are out there.
It's very exciting. It truly is. And I'm looking forward to getting you back on, I'm sure. Like in about 6 months from now, we'll be talking about, having the cafe up and running.
Yeah, hopefully,
and your other projects coming to fruition. I'm sure many people will be reaching out to you. And, because I honestly believe in the marketplace that you're in, having the right SA management company to work with could be, incredibly good for people to be able to work with them. So I'm sure you'll get people reaching out. So where can people find out about you, connect with you, and reach out?
Yeah. We are on Instagram and Facebook, but you'll find us at SB Stays, and also you can find us at SB Property Group. So that'll be the main 2 places to find us online.
Great stuff, and we'll link off in the show notes as well. But Angie, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Hey, thank you very much. Thank you.
Good stuff. And as always, I hope you guys have enjoyed the podcast. And I'm going to link off to Angie's connections in terms of her websites and socials into the show notes. And as always, if you get any comments, pop them below and we'll be sure to go in there and answer those. Until next time, all the best and bye for now.